This is the official Leeds United podcast.
A huge welcome back to the official Leeds United podcast with me, Emma Jones, Matt Lewis and Jermaine Beckford. We are back bigger and better than ever for season 3.
I went to the Leeds Pride, which was
major,
by the way. Absolutely major. The founders, Andrew Tilley and Drew Harrison, have done such incredible things for Leeds Pride, for marching out together. Incredible things, incredible support as well. There were 30, 40,000 people that attended in Leeds City Centre. And
wow.
When you think literally 3 years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago, there were 20 or 30 people, not thousands, just people there that were attending. And now we're talking about like the whole of Leeds was incredibly busy, vibrant colours, excellent energy, good food, good drinks, great laughs. Amazing.
I'm just really pleased that Leeds United are at the forefront of that. That just fills me with so much happiness that Leeds as a club are really embracing that, and that we're not afraid to say that we're 100%
inclusive
behind that and supporting it, and that's brilliant.
And do you know what? Something else that's going to grow off the back of this, I hope, is that when other football clubs see this, they will be able to do the same sort of thing, you know, and it will turn into like a snowball effect where there will be one club, then 3, then 5, then 12, then 50, and so on and so forth. And, you know, that awareness will be right out there for everybody to see.
All Leeds, aren't we? The official Leeds United podcast.
Let's get stuck into the game on Saturday, because it was a great result for Leeds United for the opening game of the season, beating Wolves 2-1. Becks, like you said, you took your little boy there for was it his first ever Leeds United game that he'd seen?
First ever Leeds United Premier League game.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, it was major. It was absolutely major.
And it was a good game for him to go and watch as well, wasn't it?
I'll tell you what, every game's got to be like that now. Flipping heck.
Yeah.
That end-to-end, high octane, bags of energy, full of pressing, 1 or 2 mistakes defensively, offensively. There's the Jesse Marsh creeping out. But you have to appreciate what we've seen. You know, the hard work that all the guys went through in pre-season when they're out in Australia and so on and so forth. We're seeing that now. You know, we're seeing Tyler in the middle of the field, who I'm actually a fan of his as well. You know, him, Rocker. I thought Aronson had a phenomenal debut. He's a really exciting player, by the way. Really exciting player. One of those guys that picks the ball up. Change of pace is very, very sharp, very quick. His awareness is great. His weight of pass as well is sublime.
He must be so irritating. Like, what a little gnat just buzzing around all the oh my gosh. Like, I was watching him and I was just like...
Just constant.
Whatever
for
position.
The first goal.
Yeah. It's just so troublesome. Like, for a centre half, I would be like, why are you even here?
Go away.
Why are you tackling me? Like, yeah, amazing.
But
it was brilliant.
What
I also liked and enjoyed about him as well was when Pat took the ball, when Pat received the ball out wide and zinged the ball across the box. Last season, we didn't usually see the midfield players breaking the lines to get in the box. And we did. We saw that on Saturday. So that's something else that I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see how well we learn to grow and adapt to different teams' style of play as well. Because Wolves are a very good football inside. They're not so physical, but they are very smart, very intelligent. They had centre forward Huang, I think his name was, up front, who as a football player is very good. He's very good, but there were a few instances that absolutely wound me up as a striker, as a football player, and as a football fan as well, where he just goes down softly. I think there was one instance on the touchline where he was being closed down by Rocker, I think it was, and then pretended that he got slapped in the face or punched in the mouth or something and was rolling around.
Jesse
like a
enjoyed
loony.
that, didn't he?
Mate. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we'll leave it there, shall we?
Jesse made the right changes at the right time. He could see where it wasn't working, or where it had just Wolves had countered his system, and he was able to change it, and not just the personnel, but change the system a little bit to get us out of that, and it worked perfectly. And so that in itself, again, was another thing that I think that, Jesse Marsch being such an unknown quantity to so many people, was we want to know, is he capable of that at this level? And again, I think he's just showed a prime example of yes, he is, and the players are. And so I think we've seen how he wants us to start games, but I think now moving forward we're going to see how his tactical brain can change and shift games as well. And we've had a little taste of that. It's coming together. It's not 100% yet. We know that, but it's coming together.
Yeah.
With that in mind then, Becks, what kind of game are you expecting this weekend against Southampton?
It's going to be a tough game for us, just because they are really, really good in terms of their set pieces. We know what James Ward-Prowse is about. We know they've got attacking players who are not bad at all. They're quite sharp, quite quick on the turn. But will they be able to cope with the intensity that we start the game with, like we did against Wolves the other day? I don't think they will. But it also depends on how we take our chances, whether we take our chances. Now, I feel like there were moments in the game on Saturday where we created great shooting opportunities, and we started to get our shots off. We started to shoot a little bit more often, which is something else that I like. I like seeing, because you're not going to score goals unless you shoot. So we had a couple of shots from quite deep outside the box. But it's that third man run. So it's that Aronson run, or it's one of the wide boys coming in, Jack Harrison at the far post coming off the back of a cross, or it's that. Are they going to be able to deal with that? I don't think they will be able to. But we need to make sure that our fitness levels we maintain our fitness levels, because that was an area where I felt we started to slow down quite drastically from about the 70th-ish minute. But if we had the game under control up until that point, and when I say under control, if we were a goal or two up, we are in possession of the ball. The ball does the work rather than the players doing the work. So that's somewhere else that I feel like we need to improve on, but we will improve on. That's just a matter of time. It comes with match fitness.
Listening on together.
I want to talk about the American following, because we know there's always been huge supporters groups over there of Leeds United, and we know that you've had many a good night with them. But with the new signings, have you observed that that's increased at all? Has there been even more interest now?
Yeah, I mean, certainly. Even since Marsch took over, there was a real interest from people who knew nothing about football, knew only about like American football, and then suddenly they're seeing on the news that there's now another American manager in the Premier League, and they say, don't you support Leeds? I think I said something about Leeds, that you support Leeds. I was like, yeah, why? Don't you have an American manager now? Like, I'm hearing stuff like that a lot. Yeah. And then now, like, again, I told you I was at that Arsenal game, and then I went to the Arsenal-Chelsea game as well, and I had a Leeds shirt on for one of them, and I mean, people always kind of, since we're back in the Premier League, people were always spotting the badge and saying, I like Leeds, whatever. Now it's tenfold, and everyone wants to ask me about what do you think of the new boys? What do you think about Adams? What do you think about Aronson? And so, yeah, there is a lot, even overnight. I mean, you're seeing much more interest from maybe even fans of rival teams. Maybe there's fans of Chelsea, of Man City or whatever, that are now taking a much deeper interest in Leeds. It's this weird thing that you remember under Bielsa, we said we're becoming people's second team. In America, we're becoming the second team, but for a different reason now. But then also new fans, I've seen a lot. There's a couple of groups, Leeds United Americas and Leeds United Florida and stuff. A lot of people in there. We've got a lot of new members, and they're all saying, "Look, my first season, I'm here because of Jesse. I'm here because of Brendan." And they're all just like really keen to learn about the city, about the club. And we had a bunch of people there for the Wolves game. We had 20 odd people there for the Wolves game. And so it certainly is growing. It's in the news a lot. We're on we're on Sports Centre, ESPN, NBC. Leeds are really being talked about a lot over here. So it will either work really, really well,
which it will
be a complete disaster. No, it's going to be brilliant, and I think that first game was a good example. I mean, you mentioned Tyler Adams, who I thought had a superb game, and then Brendan, who was a good shout for a potential man of the match.
Yep.
So I think it's going to do absolute wonders for the club over here and for the fan base, and let's not forget Jesse as well. I mean, it feels like because he was there last year, we forget about him, don't we? But let's not forget about him.
I spoke to Tyler Adams really briefly, right? And I said to him, that was your first experience of Elland Road, playing in the Premier League as a Premier League player. How do you feel? And he was like, man, that was hard. That was so hard. I'm exhausted, mentally, emotionally, physically exhausted. He said the atmosphere was the only thing that was getting him through. When he felt his legs starting to go a little bit fatigued, he said he heard that roar again and he was just like re-energized. Absolutely brilliant. He's a lovely guy as well. He's a really, really nice guy as well.
This is the official Leeds United podcast.